Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then we pronounce. Hare Krishna, then we pronounce to everyone. Prabhuji, I hope you could hear me all right. Yes, got. Very good. Thank you, Prabhuji, for such a great Kirtan. And it's quite early here, so right in the morning, listening to a Vaishnav doing a Kirtan. Amazing start of the session. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I will jump straight to the Mangalacharan, seek the blessings from the Lordship and all the Vaishnavas, Guru Maharaji. So please feel free to join if you like. अज्ञानातिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवै नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरून् श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथवितं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सवादूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखावितं च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तुते ताप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्री गुरुदेव महाराज की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय 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 श्री राधेश। Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be able to serve the Vaishnavas again in the great gathering of the devotees. And thank you to Prabhuji for giving the opportunity. So today we are going to we have been doing chapter 12. So I presume a quick recap would be ideal. Feel free, we are here and I think most of us know each other. So at any time, if anybody would like to give any kind of comments, then raise your virtual hand or just unmute yourself. The chat is there. So feel free, make it as engaging as it could be. You don't have to wait till the end. So let's hope it will be more engaging than what it usually is. Chapter 12, the cleaning of Guņḍicā temple in Madhya lila. So we've been cherishing the Lord's pastime. To start with, the king Prataput, he wanted to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji said, I won't, because I'm a sage. I don't have any purpose meeting the king. But then Nityananda ji devised a plan how the king would able to meet. And this is a great lesson, a lot of lesson learned here. And on Hare Krishna TV on YouTube, Gauranga Prabhuji has given a narration of this chapter, and I think around roughly 20 lessons we can learn from this chapter. So if uh, any one of us haven't yet gone through that, then it's in Hindi though, but feel free. Prabhuji goes English and Hindi, but mainly this session is in Hindi. Hare Krishna TV, Gauranga Prabhuji, and he goes to the narration and then a lot of lessons learned. So some of the lessons he mentioned here is that when the king wanted to reach to the Lord directly, but he couldn't. He had to go to Nityananda Ji's. And this is where we need the Guru's mercy. We might not be able to reach to the Lord ourselves, but we have to take the help of other Vaishnavas, especially our Guru Maharaj. Then King said, "It's okay. I will leave my kingship. I will leave everything. I will become a mendicant. But I would like to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." Chaitanya Mahaprabhu denies again. And then Ramananda Rai comes in and he requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So again, it's not only the Guru who leads us, but other great Vaishnavas who comes around. And then he was a diplomat and he made it happen, not directly to the king, but king's son. And then it goes through, fast forward to the latest verses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji meets Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya ji. This is what we've been discussing recently. The temple has been cleaned, and we did until verse 187, where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji started distributing the Jagannath's prasad among devotees. So the temple has been cleaned, Lord sat down, and Lord is distributing the prasad. And this is the scene. Scene is set, and hopefully all of us could be there because it's such a great loving exchange between devotees, and this is all Chaitanya Charitam is about. So I think one of the devotees said somewhere in one of the lectures, I remember that Bhagavad Gita is like full of commandments. It gives us what to do, what not to do from the Lord. And then if you like to know about the Lord even more, then of course the Bhagavatam, because Bhagavatam is the book incarnation of the Lord. But then if you would like to know the devotees and how devotees exchange each other, then, of course, Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswamiji mentioned a lot of things devotees exchange, especially the six things. But the pastimes of devotees, if you would like to know, then Chaitanya Charitamrita is the main grantha where we find out that how beautifully devotees exchange pastimes. And so this is where it is. The cleansing of the Guņḍicā temple has just been concluded. And the devotees are now honoring the prasad with Lord Chaitanya. So the Lord himself is there distributing the prasad. In this particular section, which we might be able to cover from verses 188 to 197, there the the loving exchange of two devotees mainly comes in to begin with. So the two great personalities are Shri Advaita Acharya, who is very senior, very respected, and deeply philosophical. He is in his human age. He is even older than Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji because he was the one who requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji to descend. But then Nityanand Prabhuji, that's the Nityanand Prabhuji is also a bit older, but not as old as Advaita Acharya. So while Advaita Acharya is very senior, respected, and pretty old in the age, Nityananda Prabhuji here, especially in this pastime, we will say is very playful. He plays like Avdut, kind of doing a game with Advaita Acharya and he's very unpredictable. Yet at the same time, he's a Balrama, he's a guru, and he's giving those spiritual teachings for us in a very simple and profound way. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is just witnessing all that, just the loving exchange between these two. And of course, then later at the end becomes part of this. So that's what we would do. So let's quickly recite the verses. And that's where, as always, I seek blessings and forgiveness because my recitation, especially in Bengali, it's a shame. Bengali is such a beautiful melodious language, yet people like me don't grasp, especially while it's so musical, but keeping the spiritual essence of it. So here we are, text 188, where Advaita Nityananda Vyasachana Ekathani Dui Jana Kripala Kalaha Lagali Thani. And at this point, I think I usually open it from my side. I know devotees love to see the uh, shared as well. So I've shared it now. So verse 188, the translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Shri Advaita Acharya and Nityanand Prabhuji sat side by side, and when prasadam was being distributed, they engaged in a type of mock fighting. So a bit of a mockery is going on here, and we will see what happens. So we will read few verses. It's a kind of theme going on, but we can see what's going to happen between these two great personality and what we can learn from it, because that's the whole idea. Then verse 189, Advaita kahe avadutera sange eka pankhi bhojana karilun na jani habe kon gati. First, Advaita Acharya said, I'm sitting in line with an unknown mendicant, and because I'm eating with him, I do not know what kind of destination is awaiting me. So, this is where Advaita Acharya ji very playfully saying to Nityananda, just, I don't know, you are some kind of mendicant, unknown, avduta. And just because I'm sitting with you, I don't know what's going to happen to me, Gati, the destination here. And this is a great learning for everyone. We always say that ABC of Krishna consciousness, and in- I guess in a wider perspective, in any kind of spirituality, even in materially, it's the A is about association. And this is what the lesson here that Aditya Chatterjee says, well, I'm sitting with you. So I don't know what gati I'm going to get it. So we need to be very careful which association we are in. And this is one of the lessons which Gauranga Prabhuji mentions. And I guess it's very obvious here as well. So then moving on to 190, where, right, let's Prabhuta, Sannyasi, Unhara Nahi Apachaya, Ana Doshe Sanyasarya, Dosha Nahi Haya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is in the renounced order of life. Consequently, he does not recognize discrepancies. As a matter of fact, a sannyasi is not affected by eating food from anywhere and everywhere. So that's somebody like Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji who has renounced. And coincidentally, I was listening to our home-made sannyasi, His Holiness Swami Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj Ji, yesterday. He gave a lecture in one of the reputed University College of London, UCL in London. And somebody asked what this stick is about. So at the end, Q&A, question and answers were going on. And Maharaj said, well, this is actually not for you, it's for me. This stick reminds me that I have renounced order, I've taken the sannyas. And then he explained briefly because it was very Western kind of audience. But it's for ourselves that I need to be in Krishna consciousness. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji being there, kind of portraying that I'm a sannyasi and then I've cut all my ties. So, in one sense, I've cut all my ties, but that means that I accept everyone as the same. So he does not recognize discrepancies. This is where Bhagavad Gita says that a true Brahmin, somebody who has realized, sees everyone like a Brahmin and a dog eater, Chandala, as the same. Doesn't really matter who the person is. And hopefully, one day, if we could able to do that. I recently attended, we all had hopefully great Kartik Panta. So as we all try to do the Damodar Ashtakam, Damodar Aarti at our place, then we go around at other places as well. So I was lucky enough to attend one of our God brothers' place. And then his relatives joined on Zoom, like a lot of times we do. One of the Prabhuji asked the question at the end that how, so we read, we did a bit of Gita Jayanti as well, so read all the 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita there. And then a lot of thoughts going on. So Prabhuji's brother was somewhere in the world, and he was he was listening, and while listening, he got a question, and he said that it says that we could see the Lord everywhere. How to do that? How we could do it? And then at the end, we shared that it's possible. We can do that. We can see the Lord everywhere. And how? Srila Prabhupada was asked exactly the same question when he was running, well, he was walking in a park in US, in America. When one of the disciples said, so Guru Maharaj, you, Srila Prabhupada, you going away now, and you always say, remember Krishna. Do you see Krishna everywhere? And he was walking in the park and he said, yeah. Say, how do you do that? We find it hard to do that. And Srila Prabhupada said that, let's say, if I'm going to go away now, but when you will see my stick, you will see my glasses, when you see my books, you will see my room. Will that remind you of me? They say, yes, Prabhupada, we miss you a lot and we go. And even at Manor, Bhaktivedanta Manor here in London, we do that. We have Srila Prabhupada's room where he used to be, and he used to give the lectures there. And even now, whenever we visit the temple, we spend some time there with Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada's statue is there, and we sit there with Srila Prabhupada and we chant. And sometimes Bhagavatam is there. We read a bit as well, not aloud, but to ourselves. And then we feel Srila Prabhupada is there. So this is what uh, Srila Prabhupada's disciple said that, yeah, we will miss you when we see these things. And Srila Prabhupada said, similarly, like when we are walking in this park, when we see this tree, then that reminds me of Krishna because Krishna's energy is there. Krishna has created it. And this way, if you see anything, when I see you, I see Krishna in you. And of course, Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Sarvasya Chaham Hriday Sannevishta. Krishna says, I'm in the heart of everything, not only everybody living, but everything, even non-living. I'm the true essence of everything, like 14:27 that are the essence of even Brahman, and Brahman is the true essence of everything which exists. So this way I see. So this is what the sannyasi is the true legendary example for all of us, that how we could. Now we don't have to renounce. So a lot of time it's been asked from the monks that we don't have to renounce our lifestyle like the sannyasis do. Of course, our mindset could be like sannyasis. We can renounce everything in our mindset, and we could recognize all those discrepancies there. So moving on to 191. Nana doshena maskari ei sashta parmana amita grihasta brahmana amara dosha sthana. So continue with that. It says, according to the Shastras, there is no discrepancies in a sannyasi's eating at another house. But for a householder Brahmin, this kind of eating is fault. So a householder Brahmin will see the differences, but a sannyasi is beyond it. And Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is a true example there. So there is no fault him taking prasad there in a grihastha's house. And 192, Janma khule silachara na jani yahara tara sange eka pankhi bara anakara. It is not proper for householders to dine with those whose previous birth, family, character, and behavior are unknown. So, again, a great way of expressing how and why the association is important for all of us. And not only the association, the food, the prasadam, we take it. So, the very first verse of nectar of instruction, if we say, that verse itself says about the importance of things. And one of the main thing there is the belly, the urges of belly. And urges of tongue, of course, what we eat, but urges of belly, what we would like to put in our belly, is very important. Even though while we are traveling, a lot of times we do, then a lot of different things are getting offered to us. When they do, then we need to control those urges. The food we eat, that food become us, and we become that food. So it's very important to understand whether the food is in the mode of passion, ignorance, or the goodness. So this is what Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, chapter 17 and chapter 18 in particular explains about the three modes of natures. So not only the association, but the food we eat, we need to be very careful where we are, with whom we associate, as much as we could, of course. Then 193, Nityananda kahe tumi Advaita Acharya, Advaita Siddhante Badhe Sudha Bhakti Karya. Nityananda Prabhu immediately refuted Srila Advaita Acharya, saying, "You're a teacher of impersonal monism, and the monastic conclusion is great hindrance to progressive pure devotional service." So remember, we started with verse 188 and it was a mockery fight. So they're pretending to fight. And a lot of time devotees do it. You might have seen it. And we go on yatra a number of times, and a lot of devotees have spent so much time with themselves and with other devotees in the yatra. I recently I spent some time. I was lucky enough. I was there in Mathura Desh in Muscat. I was there in Damodar Desh as well, and just coming back from Sanatan Desh. And so I spent maybe roughly, I'm thinking maybe around 10 years back. I was there in Mathura Desh. But Srila Prabhupadaji's mercy, I'm still in touch with the devotees. And last year, when I was in Saudi, in Sanatan Desh, I happened to, well, actually, this year, well, last year started, but this year, early this year, I went with the devotees from Mathura Desh to the Mahakumbh. So kept that association going. And while we were there, mm, devotees, if you can understand, it's a great blessing to have Vaishnavas around. But a lot of time we become friends as well. And when we become friends, we do these kind of things with each other. And this is a classic example that devotees do play around with each other. But even then, there is the devotional service, and a spiritual teaching is always the essence of it. So Nityananda Prabhuji immediately refuted Srila Advaitacharya, saying, "You are a teacher of impersonal monism." And the monastic conclusion is great hindrance to progressive pure devotional service. So even though it's a kind of play between two great devotees, but it's a great teaching there as well. And it's not even hidden. It's right at the face of it. The monastic conclusion is a great hindrance to the progressive pure devotional service. So we can understand what Brahman is, but we do need to understand that's not the end of it. We need to go and move further. And in one of the purports here in these verses, Srila Prabhupada explained as well. Well, the great 1-to-1, Srimad Bhagavatam 1-to-1 has been mentioned in one of the purports by Srila Prabhupada, which explains the three aspects of the Lord. 194. तुम्हारा सिद्धांत संग कार्य जाने एका वास्तु विना से द्वैता नहीं माने. One who participates in your impersonal monastic philosophy does not accept anything but the one Brahman. Now, this is remember, this is happening between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu. But very similar episode has happened in the past with Advaita Acharya ji and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji, where Advaita Acharya ji kind of portrayed himself as impersonalist monastic, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji had to come very hard on it. So now the similar thing is happening, and there is a lot we can learn from here. This is called Advaita Siddhanta. And well, this is the verse I was referring to. Sorry, I said 1-to-1, I think. 1-to-11. So maybe I read this particular part of it. The purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The impersonal monist does not believe that God is the only object of worship, and that the living entities are his eternal servants. According to monists, God and the devotee may be separate in material state, but when they are spiritually situated, there is no difference between them. This is called Advaita Siddhanta, Advaita. The conclusion of the monists. The monists consider devotional service of the Lord to be material activity. Therefore, they consider such devotional activities to be same as karma, the fruity activities, not spiritual. This monastic mistake is a great stumbling block on the road of devotional service. Actually, this discussion between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda was a mock fight, like a fake fight, just for the pleasure of the Lord, to serve as a great instruction for all devotees and great learning for all of us. Shri Nityananda Prabhu wanted to point out the Advaita Acharya, a prayer devotee, did not agree with the monastic conclusion, the conclusion of the devotional service. Vadanti tat tattva vidastatvam yat jnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagwaniti shabdate. So those three aspects of the Lord. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So great reference there, and a lot of explanation from Srila Prabhupada on it. So maybe three more verses, and so this is a theme from verse 188 to 197, where this prasadam mock fight is going on between Advaita Acharya ji and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhuji and Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji is witnessing. So text 195, Hina Tomara Sangha Mora Ekatra Bhojna Na Jani Tomara Sangha Kaicha Haya Mana. Nityananda Prabhu continued, "You are such a monist, and now I'm eating beside you. I do not know how my mind will be affected in this way." So direct instruction. Initially it was mentioned just about the association. Then in association, if we eat, whose place we eat, and now the consciousness is affecting the mind. So the association, the food, whether it's prasadam or not, and then directly how it's affecting my mind. Remember, the whole practice is the Krishna consciousness. So the association is directly affecting the consciousness because of where we are eating. And then Sangat Jajat Kama. And this is another great verse, Bhagavad Gita 2.62. So hopefully we remember that. In end of Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 is the conclusion of or the summary of the whole Bhagavad Gita. And right at the end, so there are what, 72, 78 verses there. And right at the end, Krishna has confirmed to Arjun that what is the one thing so which we need to control. And of course, anger is there right on the face of it, what we could see, but underneath is where we start the contemplation. And in this 262, so it's mentioned Dhyayato Vishan Pumsa Sangha Teshu Payate. Teshu Pajayate Sangats. So these are the words from the verse. Sangha Sanjate Kama Kamat Krodho Vijayate. So the association affects, and then association will bring us the krodha, the karma, the desire. So if you are in somebody's association, if it's a materialist, we would like to go on maybe Hollywood, Bollywood movies. But if it's a spiritual association, we would like to go in the temple and we would like to have the prasada rather than going to a great restaurant and enjoying materially something we are not supposed to. So another great teaching by Nityananda Prabhuji there. Moving on to verse 196. Ei mata dui jane kara bala bali. Vyaja stuti kare dunne yene gala gali. Thus they both went on talking and praising one another. Though their praises appeared negative, for it appeared as if they exchanged ill names. So, especially in Hindi, gali, gala gali, exchanges of ill names. It's like when we abuse some verbal abuses and we call names to each other. And this is practically what Nityananda Prabhuji and Advaita Acharya is doing. But at the same time, there is a great teaching for the devotees in this play. Was 197. Tabe Prabhu Sarva Vaishnavera Nama Lana Mahaprasada Dena Maha Amrita Sinchaya. Thereafter, calling all Vaishnavas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu distributed Mahaprasad as if sprinkling nectar. At that time, the mock fight between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu became more and more delicious. So this verse concludes this mockery. Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji witnessed all that, what both devotees they said to each other, and then he started distributing prasad to everyone, all great devotees there. And at this point, if I stop sharing and maybe conclude the verses from 188 to 197. So, as we said, this is a theme in this, the transcendental humor and affectionate exchanges happens between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu during Prasadam. So, verse 188, the mock fight begins during Prasadam. Then from 189 to 192, so these four verses, Advaita Acharya is humorously critique of dining with a sannyasi with Nityananda Prabhu. But then from 193 to 195, Nityananda Prabhuji replies back very playfully rebuttal about impersonalism. Because Advaita Acharya said, Nityananda Prabhu, you are impersonal. And then he said, no, 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 impersonal. No, me. No, you are impersonal. And then from the last two verses, 196, 197, their monk fight praises intensifies. And then at the end, 197, we can see that it delights Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are great teachings. We can see, of course, how transcendental personalities like these to engage in playful exchanges. It's amazing to see. A lot of times people consider if you are a devotee, if you are on that spiritual path, then you need to be very remorse, you need to be very gross, you need to be sad, you need to be serious all the time. But this exchange itself is a verdict, the evidence that no, we don't really need to be. And to be honest, more and more I dwell into Krishna consciousness, spirituality, I realize the laughing Buddha is very famous. So he was a Buddha, enlightened one, but he used to laugh. Why? Because more and more he will see everyone. Of course, Srila Prabhupada was on the other spectrum. When Srila Prabhupada used to see people, like when he was in the car and was stuck in the traffic and he saw a lot of people in America getting into the bus and tears started rolling down. And somebody asked, what happened? Srila Prabhupada said, well, I feel so sorry for these guys. So, yes, at the same time, when the sannyasis would feel for others, but when they are among devotees, they are very playful as well. And certainly, I can take a lot of names of the devotees whom I kind of very playfully exchange, but at the same time, we discuss deeper philosophical points hidden in the humor. I think, if I may, then one of the devotees here in the group just thought of that we are doing Bhakti Vedanta together, and we were doing the group exercise. And I'm not very active asking a lot of questions there. I'm cherishing because there are other great devotees who are doing it. And then in the group exercise, one of the devotees said a point, and the other devotee was writing it. So the devotee who said the point said that you're taking a lot of time. What are you doing? Are you writing your own Bhagavatam there? I don't know if the devotee remember who said it, but the devotee who said it is here in this session today. And this is what devotees do. It's a playful exchange, and everybody laughed. We just had a great time. So that's one of those things that devotees do. So humorously, but again, philosophical points are hidden into it. And then there are the etiquettes and the dynamics about the Vaishnav orders, how we go about it. So, right, there is a lot more which could be said there, a lot of references which we could give, and a lot of references which being given. We mentioned nectar of instruction. So NOI, for example, if you go for NOI 1 being referred, NOI 4, Dadati Pratiganyati Guhyam Akhyati Prachati Bhonte Bhojate Seva Sharvidim Priti Lakshanam. So offering gifts and accepting gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, and then accepting prasadam. These are the six symptoms of loving exchange between two devotees. So we understand how this has been very vividly illustrated here in this. So at this point, I would say we still have few minutes left. So before we go any further, I would love to open for any discussion point, any comments, any questions we might have which we would like to discuss. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Nana and Prabhuji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Wonderful, wonderful class, Prabhu. Prabhu would like to know that might you have already explained, but I didn't catch up that one. Why this discussion between the Nityanand Prabhuji and Advait Acharya ji? Why it is going on this discussion, Prabhu? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So why great personalities do what they do? So Prabhuji, one of those things we always say, why Krishna did it? So any of those pastimes, whenever we say why, then I guess one of the generic answer which we usually get, and it's always good enough to accept it, is that it's a pastime of the Lord. If Lord wouldn't have done it, we didn't have the opportunity to discuss this, to share it. Bhagavatam could have just been one sentence. So this again, like what Bhagavad Gita says, that what the great personalities will do, what Krishna said, I will do. They become the leaders and they set the examples. So this is a teaching for all of us. So why? So intrinsically, why they did it, what they felt in that moment might not be easy enough for us to understand. Why they said this or that, what they felt in that moment. But of course, what we could understand is that this is a teaching. This is a teaching for them, for us, anyone who will read it, and to cherish the pastimes of the Lord and the devotees. I hope that will do, Bob. I open up for anyone else who would like to add to this great question from Prabhuji.
To add further to your answer,
Please, Prabhuji, please.
This question, there's actually many pastimes which Lord and his devotees enact. They're all with definitely with a very strong reason. One of that is to highlight the qualities, the intrinsic qualities, hidden qualities of other personality. For example, when Lord Chaitanya Prabhu had a discussion with Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was he is none other than Brihaspati. We all know that, but he is playing a role of impersonalist initially. So the discussion happened between Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu was to highlight the hidden qualities of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So he wanted to, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu wanted to bring out the hidden qualities. The same way, when this discussion, by mocking each other, when Advaita Acharya says that, I should not sit with you and honor prasadam. So for sannyasis like Chaitanya Prabhu, it's okay. But grihasthas, you're kind of avadhuta. So now that opens up a question, opens up the debate of what are the qualities of Nityananda Prabhu. So then it is a more to highlight and discuss why Nityananda Prabhu has done those activities which appears to be different from, like he is always in a Avadhuta platform. So the more focus and discussion happens on that. So his qualities are highlighted. Same way Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya, he played, enacted pastime of teaching impersonal philosophy at some stage. So that again, Chaitanya Prabhu punishes him. We say, no, you should not do this. So these are all play, the enactment to highlight the real hidden qualities of. So all these pastimes, whatever we see here, even Lord Chandra Prabhu cleansing the Guņḍicā Mandir. So these are not required. But why it is being done is to highlight the importance of other personalities and those personalities who are participating in this. And another point which when VP Govinda Prabhu, when you started this session, you made a statement. Maybe you can go back and check the recording. You said cleaning of Guņḍicā temple. So it
Right.
is not a cleaning. It is not a cleaning of Guņḍicā temple. It is a cleansing.
Cleansing.
So I was just thinking about it. I was taking notes on this topic, not exactly this topic we are discussing, but on the similar topic I was taking notes on a few days ago for my one of the upcoming videos. The difference between cleaning and cleansing is very, very minute and important. Cleaning always to the external, and cleansing refers to the removing the impurities. So these are the pastime of, again, the same question comes, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu does this so-called pastime of cleansing of Guņḍicā temple. So he is cleaning, but actually he is cleansing the impurities within the heart by doing this pastime. So every pastime has a reason for this, and it is for us to take home the message underlying this pastime. So even Sri Prabhupada also named this chapter as a cleansing of Guņḍicā temple, not the cleaning.
Yes, you're right. Thank you for the correction, Prabhuji, and thank you for explaining that very nicely. And you're so right, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the addition. Indeed, to reveal the hidden qualities of the devotees, a lot of exchange happen, and this is one of those. Indeed. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare. So, any more comments or questions or discussion point, please? Right. So, okay, on C. I tried keeping the class very simple. Yesterday, I heard a great class happens here at Manna from Srila Prabhupadaji's direct disciple. Mataji is from US and she is here in London for a few days. So she was giving the class. And I believe that class, and the recording will be there on YouTube. The class is one of the simplest class as it could be. Even though when Mataji started, Mataji said, I'm sorry, I don't give very sophisticated classes. And that class was straight from her heart. She just discussed how she met Srila Prabhupada, what was her life before she met, and the life after she met Srila Prabhupada. And then at the end, everyone accepted that that was one of the best classes, just because it didn't fall into the stereotype of the way the standard class is given in the parampara, but it was directly from the heart, and simplicity seems to be the key which touches the heart of the audience and the listeners. So unnecessary if we won't make it complex. Sometimes we do just for the sake of it. Like I remember somebody said, oh, well, if you will add these, not spiritually, but materially sometimes are right. And somebody said, well, if you will use the words like strong English words, which are find it from the dictionary and add it there, which people won't use on a regular basis, then they will feel like you're more educated as well. But that's not the point. But sometimes I think we tend to do that. And it might be, it appears great. And I have actually heard it and that was in Mathura, Desh, I'll never forget. So somebody asked the question, and the speaker said, ask someone else that if anyone else would like to reply. And one of the Prabhuji sitting next to me said, oh, well, you listened to that class. That class explained it very nicely. Then I was sitting there. I said, well, okay, Prabhuji, later we will listen to the class, but do you have any points you remember from there? And he said, I don't remember. I said, well, you don't remember the class you just suggested us? But he said, yeah, but it was a great class. Well, how great it was if you didn't remember anything. And we all laughed there. So the whole point is, if we could remember, we could all take away something. And it's a great pastime of the Lord. And like what Prabhuji mentioned so nicely, that revealing the hidden qualities of not our qualities, the other devotees' qualities which we all can cherish and we all can learn and get inspired from it. So, with that, Prabhuji, still, if anybody would like to say anything or the time is there, we will close today's class. Okay, all right. So, Prabhuji, with your permission, shall we? Right. So, yeah. So, Srila Prabhupada.